on Sactown Sports 1140.
Let's line you up on our mock drafts. Mike Tozzi at 96.9 FM, the game in Orlando in just a second. He will step to the mic and make Orlando's number one pick.
Yes.
Andrew Schlecht from The Athletic. He covers the Thunder. He'll be next at 7:44. Then we talk to Sam Amick at 8, as we do every Thursday. Craig Ackerman, the voice of the Rockets, at 8:13. We'll pick for them. And Sean Cunningham, Matt and Cleveland. Jason, thank you for setting all this up. We go to our first guest, again from 96.9 FM. The game in Orlando. It's Orlando. And it's our new friend, Mike Tozzi. Mike, it's Dave and Jason. Good morning. How are you?
Oh, I am terrific. I didn't get much sleep. It felt like the night before Christmas when I was a younger kid. And I'm checking all odds at all times. I'm looking for tells. I've been looking through this stuff for the last month, and I don't feel any really better about my call today than I did a month ago. I had some leans. I'm a big Paolo Banchero, Jaden Ivey guy, but that's just my preference. When I think about what the team wants and needs, it feels closer to Jabari Smith or Chet Holmgren. But it just came out recently that Adrian Wojnarowski said it was going to go chalk.
Mm-hmm.
As it's going to go Jabari Smith at 1, Chet Holmgren at 2, and Paolo Banchero at 3. I have to believe in Woj, right?
Yeah. No, I think so. And, listen, before we get to meat and potatoes, we always like to get to know our guests. I was on your Twitter, and I'm not sure. I don't know. It's not the bio as to whether or not you were originally from the Orlando area, but I do see a smiling Mike Tozzi in a New York Yankee.
Yes, I like that.
That's your team, Jason Ross. True or false, there are more Yankee fans in Florida than Ray and Marlin fans combined.
Well, it turns out. I mean, those teams have a tough time drawing fans. I am from New Jersey. Initially. I moved down to Orlando in 2020, went to school down here, sports broadcasting program, and I've been with 96.9 The Game since last May, and I took over for the afternoon show in January. So in the zone from 3 to 6 with myself and Brandon Kravitz.
Nice.
An honor to be here trying to help you guys out. Make this mock draft go as smooth as possible. I've never really seen anything like this where odds have shifted like crazy and nobody seems to really know how to peg it.
Yeah, so if we go back to when Orlando wins the draft lottery on lottery night, was there a theme right then? Did everybody go, it's Chet or it's Paolo? Was there a fan base call that everybody wanted then that might even be different today?
It's kind of shifted. We had Jabari Day. He actually came down here and worked out and met with the media, so everybody's preparing themselves for Jabari. And then we had what we thought was Chet Week. And he was supposed to have a media availability session, but it turned out he snuck in and met with the team for 2 days and flew out the day he was supposed to meet with the media. And then we still don't know if Paolo Banchero ever actually came through the Orlando area or not. So that's what's making this all so crazy. My first train of thought when I've seen all these odds change were maybe there's a trade in place. It seems as though the Rockets are enamored by Paolo. Could there be a deal? Is there a deal worth trading the number 1 pick and moving back? So all these things are going into play. I have to give Jeff Weltman, the president of basketball ops for the Magic, a lot of credit. He's kept it really buttoned up.
Orlando's quite interesting as we talk to Mike Tozzi of 96.9 FM, The Game in Orlando. And Mike will be making Orlando's pick here in just a second. I see Adam Silver in the green room right now. They're so young. And Franz Wagner that's who I think the Kings would have picked had Orlando not picked him up last year instead of Davion Mitchell. Jalen Suggs, obviously nothing but youth and talent. Markelle Fultz, will he ever recapture what made him the number 1 pick in the draft that featured Jason Tatum, amongst others? Cole Anthony, Wendell Carter Jr. had sort of a rebirth, not that he was terrible in Chicago, but really started stretching out and developing there. Mo Bamba's a question. Terrence Ross. I'm going down the list, but for me, really, Jonathan Isaac, the Florida State guy with all the talent in the world, all defense, first team type talent, just can't stay healthy. You imagine with if it's Jabari Smith, that's probably going to spell the end, I would imagine, of Jonathan Isaac's career in Orlando.
I think they're actually hopeful that they can get something out of Isaac this year. Him actually being healthy is a whole nother story.
Yeah.
There is something in his contract to where if he's not able to play a certain amount of games, they can actually void it and it won't hurt. Well, I think he'd still get his money, but it wouldn't affect the cap situation. So he's kind of a bonus. And we kind of got a brief scene of what it looks like when he's on his game playing defense. I do think he can contribute to what they want to do, but him staying healthy is really kind of hard to believe in at the moment. You mentioned kind of the three mainstays for me is Wendell Carter Jr., who has taken the next step. He's somebody I believe, while I won't say he's untouchable, he's on the right path. Franz Wagner, I mean, he exceeded expectations in every way. He's a keeper. Jalen Suggs, I still have the utmost hope for. He's kind of the big hope. If the Magic are going to get to where they need to go, he needs to turn into the player that we all believe he can be. He's kind of raw and very young. But the thing that the Magic really need to accomplish here is to get a very sturdy player that they can believe in and build with going forward. I've convinced myself on all three of these big guys. I mean, Jabari, it just depends what you want. Jabari is the lights-out shooter. Paolo's the big-time playmaker, kind of the queen on the chessboard at the stretch 4, maybe a small ball 5. And then Chet Holmgren is your unicorn who can block shots and it's just how quick he can develop on offense. And obviously the frame is in question. And then there's a Jaden Ivey, who I know you guys have been rumored to, right there at 4. But it also sounds like you guys might be trading out, and Keegan Murray's also a possibility. So, a lot of good options at the top end of this draft.
So, Mike, on that end, too, assuming Orlando keeps the pick, they're going to obviously be thrilled with who they take at 1. They do have money, too. Like, what kind of offseason free agent you expect them to be free agency players this offseason?
I've been trying to listen to President of Basketball Operations, Jeff Weltman, and trying to read through the tea leaves, and he's so good at not really giving anything away while giving somewhat of a smooth answer. I think they'll assess, they'll see what the market looks like. They're not going to do anything stupid. They've talked about, we want to rebuild this the right way. We don't want to rebuild it too quick to where we get back to stuck in the 8th seed. So if something makes sense, they could pull the trigger because they do have money, but I would imagine next off season would be a little bit more reasonable for them to do that. Now, I think because of their cap situation, they could take on a deal that another team doesn't want to be a part of for assets. I'm thinking about something like that if they wanted to move back into the later first round with those 2 second-round picks they have. So in some ways, I'm just as curious about later in the draft for the Magic as I am up top. But wouldn't imagine they'll be huge players, but I'm sure they'll kick the tires.
All right, Mike Tozzi from 96.9 FM, The Game in Orlando. Here we go. And we've got guests from Houston, guests from Oklahoma City, our own guys here in Sacramento. They're all going to join us. But you have the honor of making the first pick in the draft. No pressure whatsoever. And I will let Adam Silver here cue you up. Go ahead, Adam.
Oh, my goodness. Here we go.
Yeah.
With the first pick, the Orlando Magic select
Jabari Smith.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
it's got.
I hate to go chalk. I like shaking things up. I like being bold, but minus 5,000 on Vegas. I'm not going to trifle with that. And what Adrian Wojnarowski was saying, I just have to go with it.
But that wouldn't be yours, huh?
Well, because of those things, I feel like that's my best educated guess. If I was picking for a blank slate, I would certainly consider Paolo Banchero, but making the best hypothesis for the Magic at 1, it's Jabari.
Well, and I want to make sure we're clear here because I've kind of we all walk the same tightrope, Mike. That's who you think they're going to pick. I agree with you 100%. I almost certainly will be Jabari Smith Jr. But just to be clear, if you literally had the pick, if it was yours, Mike, to make, would you pick Jabari or would you go somewhere else?
I do like Jabari. I think he's about the right things. He works really hard. He's going to put everything into the game, so I have no problem with him. But if I was picking for a blank slate, I would consider shopping the pick, seeing what I could get. And if I have to think too hard, I'm just going Paolo Banchero. He seems can't miss.
Yeah.
So the other guys' ceilings might be higher. Paolo's floor seems perfect.
Well, the great thing about Orlando, they're an Eastern Conference team. I have no problems wishing you good luck next year, except when we meet in the NBA Finals. We'll have you back on sometime in June. Mike, we appreciate you, and good luck today, my man.
I appreciate it. I've been hoping the Kings can turn it around for so long. Those C-Web teams are some of my favorite in NBA history.
Appreciate you, my man. Won't be the last time we speak. That's Mike Tozzi, 96.
So Jabari's off the board.
Jabari Smith, congratulations. Yeah. You're the number 1 pick in the draft. The only thing that would make this segment better is if we had a word from